Hey, good morning, and thanks for clicking on to Waking Up. So what is waking up? Well, first of all, this is our first video, and spoiler alert, waking up is not about my morning routine. Waking up is about my discovering that somehow, in my despite my efforts of trying to be aware and trying to be socially aware and trying to be aware of my health and aware of my well-being and aware of how I interact with my employees and very important people around me, in the age of the Me Too movement and Black Lives Matter and so many really important cultural shifts that we've had in our nation here in the United States, that I find myself, even though I thought I was staying in touch, I found out that there were a lot of things I just was missing out on. So I'm kind of rebooting my life right now. I'm coming up on 60 at the end of this year, and it's put me in a place where I'm reevaluating many things in my life. I came out of a relationship late last year that I had hoped would be the last relationship for the rest of my life, but that's not quite how it worked out. And to be honest with you, this channel, Waking Up, the thoughts for this started happening even before that, because the relationship I was in was someone much younger than me, and so there was the age difference and of a different race, which we'll get into that in some other video. So there were a lot of things that we both learned about each other and about life and about our cultural differences, and it's actually, that was the good part of our relationship. The bad part of our relationship is something else, and I probably won't ever get into that, except that I learned a lot, and it's inspired me to do more with my life and more about with myself, and how I react to other people around me. So Waking Up is going to touch on a variety of things. It's going to turn into talking about views on cultural changes, what I see increasingly about this gender neutral thing among millennials, and how that's changing the fabric of so many things that affect our lives, and how my viewpoint of that is. And I'm going to be talking with some people that I am friends with, and hopefully some new people that I have not yet met, to get their opinions and some feedback, and your feedback for that matter. I'm hoping to get some feedback from those of you who stop by here to take a listen, and I'm hoping to get some constructive feedback and some ideas and some thoughts and some topics that we should touch on to discuss. You know, it seems that so many things have changed in life. I happen to own a company. I'm a contractor on the West Coast, and I know for me personally, we have a very hard time finding good employees, and I find that to be a common comment from all the people that I know that are running businesses, whether it's in construction or restaurants or in offices or anything. It seems to be a common comment. And interestingly enough, I keep hearing over and over how it's young people today just don't want to work. And I don't know that that's a fair thing to say, because I recall when I was a young man that listening to older people at that time talking about the young generation and how they didn't care and nobody had a work ethic back then. And I was a young man several decades ago. I don't want to get into that right now, but I don't think that's the thing. I think it's a point of view. I think it's a matter of how we're living and how we're interacting with people. And I think social media has definitely changed a lot of us. Technology is on a runaway of just amazing things that are so great for our planet, our world, our culture, our economics, our interactions with friends and family and business, and how we do business, and how it's become a global economy. And you know, I'm one of those people that I really thought I spent my life trying to be aware, trying to be mindful of my surroundings, trying to be mindful of how people are, and actually I'm pretty accepting of most things, I think. And yet, as I really got serious about this topic and started looking around and reading some articles and doing some research and doing some homework, I realized that I was actually out of touch with a lot of things that I had not thought about. And I think that's because it just became part of my routine. It became part of my life. It just became the way I thought things were. And in some cases, I lost track of how things are now. And so we're going to talk about some of that. I apologize for looking off the screen. As you might be able to have figured out by now, I'm driving this morning, and I'm on my way off to a job site to go meet with somebody. So we're going to see how this works. I'm going to try and post a video every morning, and hopefully without this light here in the background shading that out. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. But that's what waking up is going to be about, to start with. Now this may broaden out because I can think of basically endless things to talk about that I'm waking up to, that are changing, and that I would like to do the research if I can find the time. And also I'm expecting and hoping to get feedback from you folks who subscribe or who stop in to watch the channel and get some information, that I'll get more ideas for things to look into, or get suggestions, or I'll get hopefully hints and tips from some of you folks about some research that's been happening, or some statistics that are relevant to what this is, that we'd like to make people aware about. But my goal is to stimulate the thought and the conversation, and to get people to interact with people that maybe you're shunning from your life because you've decided they're just not the right kind of people for you. Increasingly, we live in a world that seems to be so divided. I don't want to make this about politics, but politics is a perfect example of how we seem to have increasingly a divide between what's the conservatives and the liberals. And I don't think you have to be one or the other. Personally, I feel that I'm an independent, that I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm from the Midwest originally. I've been living on the West Coast for the last 30 years, and now creating this company in Nevada. And as I move around and as I meet new people, and I'm surrounded by different demographics, it adds to the variety of view that I'm looking at, and some of the influences that I am questioning within myself. And am I being fair-minded, or am I also being stuck in the past? Things like that. So that's where we're going, and I hope you'll join me. So please click on subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can find out the next time we post a video. Please feel free to leave me comments, especially for constructive criticism or your support, and your ideas and tips and things like that, because I'd love to hear from you. And we'll see where this goes. Thanks very much.